Speaking of characters with long-lasting history, you want to lead this one?
Yeah, we're talking about Sal Buscema, who unfortunately passed away at the age of 89. He was a pencil and inker for Marvel and worked in several different industry, like in a bunch of different companies for the comic book industry. Like
Yes.
I was reading up on him, and holy shit, this guy he worked he worked his ass off. So originally,
Hmm.
he had a bunch of different jobs that he was doing. He was like a mailer. He was working for like a jewelry shop, like all these different things. But he's actually the brother to artist John Buscema, who
Huh.
he worked on like a bunch of things over at Marvel, and he was like, "Hey, like you helped like ink some of the stuff that I made. Why don't you come and work for us?" So
Yeah.
he did, and he said at first he was like very scrappy when he first like made it, but then he started to become like a machine when he started doing it. When once he hit that 5 year mark, he was like, I was just like shooting stuff out. And I'm gonna tell you all the things that he helped create and all the things he worked on. So Sal helped co-create characters such as Valkyrie, the
Ooh.
Defenders, Starhawk, the Squadron Sinister, which if you don't know what the Squadron Sinister is, it's basically Marvel's version of the Justice League, but evil guys.
That was Squadron Supreme.
It was Squadron Sinister first. Then it was Squadron
Oh.
Supreme. Squadron Supreme is like the good guy universe version of it.
Right.
And then he helped create Jean DeWolf, which is a huge character that was in Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
Graviton, who is a Avengers enemy. Rom, the Space Knight, and a
Ooh,
bunch of other
yes.
characters. Uh,
Never rum. Thanks,
and
Linkara, for the
yeah,
retrospective. I know a lot more about him than you think.
so while he was at Marvel, he had a 10-year run inking on the Hulk and an 8-year run on Spectacular Spider-Man. But these aren't the only things that Sal worked on. He worked on Silver Surfer, Avengers, Thor, New Mutants, Spider Girl,
Ooh.
Uncanny X-Men. One of the last stories for Uncanny X-Men before it went out to becoming just reprints. By the way,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah, this is before
he
like giant size X-Men kind of brought everything back.
yeah, and then Captain America, Fantastic Four, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Superboy, GI Joe, and so many other things. He worked on like Submariner too. He has worked with Larry Lieber, who was the brother to Stanley. He's also
Ooh,
worked with Jerry Siegel, who was writing Silver Surfer over at Marvel, by the way.
nice.
So Sal like made his mark on the comic book industry. Like he was inking and penciling. Like I want to say that he was doing more inking than he was penciling, but he was for sure like he was in it, and we gotta appreciate him for like all the stuff that he did.
It was really prolific, and that's why
Yeah,
we lost like a really historic guy.
yeah, amazing stuff, and really like deeply ingrained in like Marvel history. I want to say too, because it's from like the like almost early days of Marvel to like he was working into like the 90s. He said he was like he was a retiring person still inking for Marvel, and I was like, that's hilarious. He just loved his job. He loved doing it, and his brother too. John was like, my brother knows how to ink my work. I don't want anybody else doing that except for him, because he had some guy ink his stuff, and he's like, when he inked my work, it it didn't become my work anymore. It became
Right.
whatever that was. But my brother, he knows how to ink this, and it makes it look like my art. So get
Hmm.
him on the book. So I think that's really cool that you can have an inker that works with you and really like exudes your style.
Yeah.
So
Cool, cool,
very
cool.
important person. We should
Yeah.
remember him.
Yes.